Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This will be directed to Commissioner Lopez and Administrator Sobek in the beginning here. Commissioner Lopez, I appreciate being able to have a conversation earlier this week and hope we're able to continue to track down some of that information we talked about. Last week, several of my colleagues in a bipartisan letter we wrote to Will Stell, the regional administrator of NMFS up in Seattle, to express our strong concern that NMFS is advocating a delay once again in water diversions for Sacramento River settlement contractors who are the most senior water right holders on the Sacramento River. They want to delay it more than a month. They already delayed it last year by partly into the growing season, I think to May 1, if I remember right. And now they're talking up to June 1, which that would be 6 weeks into a farming season typically for agriculture of no water delivery for the senior water right holder on the river. Again, the settlement contractors being the most senior, delaying diversions would not only hurt their ability to plant crops, it would hurt many in the economy, mean less food, and means loss of habitat for waterfowl that are plentiful when those fields are planted, fish, and endangered species even in the area like the giant garter snake. We need a balanced CVP operation plan as soon as possible. So what can we expect? That we will have a plan soon to give definition to that growing season coming up, especially in light right now that Shasta Dam is dumping an equal amount of water as what's inflowing to it from rain and runoff. About 17,000 CFS is being dumped directly out of Shasta, is my last look at the figures. What kind of certainty, how soon can a decision be reached for these senior water right holders, the settlement contractors? Both of you, please.
Representative, our staff in California has been meeting with your constituents on a weekly basis to try and coordinate how water will be used. You're correct that NMFS has been watching storage in Shasta very closely in an attempt to assure that there is sufficient water for cold water release temperatures. The situation is really fluid. There's so much water coming into Shasta right now that we're very close to 4 million acre feet of storage in there. Just last week I spoke with Will Stell, and it was the expectation that if we got to the 4.1 or 4.2, they felt confident that we would be able to meet temperature requirements throughout. So I think the fluidity of
the temperature requirements, great. How about the delivery to the senior contractors?
Well, what that means is the temperature requirements. If we're able to meet that, I think then we can simply supply the senior water users as they need, and we're very rapidly approaching that point where it won't be a constraint.
So they can go to their bankers and talk about their crop loan sometime soon and say, yes, we have some certainty within a week or two?
We're rapidly approaching, we're at 3.925, and like I said, they're talking about...
They're dumping water, so they must feel like it's going to fill.
They are dumping water in anticipation of potential runoff. You're correct.
Yeah, Ms. Sobek, I want to give you an opportunity as well.
I would just echo what the commissioner said. Our primary consideration for the winter run salmon is making sure there's enough cold water left in Shasta for later season
Where in the
releases.
Endangered Species Act does it say cold water is now a requirement in addition to just having water from a man-made structure that was put into place in the 30s, that if it wasn't there wouldn't be water stored to begin with for any fish no matter what temperature? Where is that in the Endangered Species Act?
That is in our biological opinion. It's not in the Act itself, because the biological opinion...
Yeah, I don't remember that being legislated around here any time between 73 and the 80s.
But I do agree with the commissioner that given that it looks like Shasta is filling up, if it gets to a critical point, then there will be no need to ask the senior water right holders to modify their diversion. So
I don't think they were asked last time. I think they were told, and they would be told June 1 would be devastating on planting a crop. 6 weeks without water at the beginning of a crop season. That doesn't sound like an ask to me.
So we're operating within the terms of our biological opinion for salmon, and we're all watching very carefully and hoping that we can take advantage of the better circumstances for
4
water
million
in
acre feet
Shasta.
in a dam stored for people, for hydro, for flood control, for ag. I would hope that that would be a circumstance that says, yeah, we can hopefully plant some crops here. This whole concept of now not only having water release, but it has to be at a certain temperature, is going way beyond the intention of the dam, the Endangered Species Act, and all subject to somebody's biological opinion. I'll have follow-up on this. I'll yield back, Mr. Chairman.